Let's see. This is just a quick test to see the latency. Sweet. Got it down to about 10 seconds instead of 20. Right. Stream quality look all right to you guys? Let me know, those who are here. Hey, Loki God 45, what's up? How about yourself, man? How you doing? How you doing? Quality looks good. That's good. It's good. It's good. How's the screen look? Can you see the code on VS Studio pretty well? That was my biggest concern. I had to lower the quality to make it where you guys can interact with me quicker. That way there's only about a 10-second downtime instead of 20, 30 last time. Sweet. Good. That'll mean that we can communicate quicker. Yeah! And that's good. I'm glad you're doing great, yo. How's it going, Apploft Android? If that is your real name? What's up, man? Man, this music that I'm using, this is the music that Al uses in his Cinema 4D quick tips. And I'm not gonna lie, this music jams. Like, this is such comfortable, like, coding music. Like, oh, yeah. I need to find, like, an entire set of this type of music and just have it playing in the background. This is all, like, royalty-free stuff, too, so it's not gonna get, like, blocked off YouTube once we're done. Oh, I just saw your message, Loki, of who you are. Yeah, but, so basically the way our goal for this stream to work is like, I myself am still a student. Like, I am by no means, like, good enough to go out there into the developer world and go crazy, but I know enough a little bit. I'm rusty right now because I haven't done it in 6 months since I actually started working officially with GameDev HQ, doing all the other stuff that we got going on. So I'm having to brush up in free time before here, so I've did a little bit of stuff prior, trying to not be so rusty live. But the whole concept of this stream is like, I'm really hoping that other people that are at my level, like student-wise, will pop in, and also it'll be like a group research session type thing. It's like, here's an idea that the entire community came up with. We all voted the highest vote. I think it was like 10 votes or something crazy in Endless Runners with boss fights. And I got with Al, and I got a whole bunch of assets from Filebase to use for it, and kind of made like a little demo scene, a little bit of, I did a tiny bit of coding on it just to give it like that first visual push to kind of set the mood when the stream starts, which I'll show it here in a minute. But we'll talk a whole lot about polishing it off and things. Oh, you did vote for that one. Nice. Nice. Yeah, it's a pretty good choice. I think it's going to be pretty interesting. It's not going to be like a final product that we like put out there in the world, really. Like, we really just want it to be kind of for the community. So like, when it's done, we'll package it up and put it somewhere on the site or something, and probably put it out there for the pro members because it uses so many of the file-based assets. But we haven't really know for sure what we're going to do with it yet, but we're going to try to make something that's complete in terms of all the functionalities there. Something that's good enough and set in stone enough that we can be like, here's a demo of the play available in this game, and that's about it. That's what we're gonna go aim for. And then when that's done, we'll jump into another project, and just kind of use a bunch of weird, unorthodox ideas for making stuff. Like the method that was used for this was just taking 2 top games and mixing up their ideas and randomly generating different features to come up with a single concept. Totally unorthodox, but hey, it worked, and sometimes it creates innovation, so we'll see. Pretty excited for it. But yo, I saw on Discord you're playing Mabinogi. The game goes hard. Game is dang. Haven't played it in forever though. Didn't it get like an anime or something? Hey Zach, what's up? Yeah, pretty sure Mabinogi has like an anime that talks about it now. Man, I'm trying to get this thing to stay, and it just keeps. You get what you pay for, guys. Don't skip out on materials. Let me see if I can just like super bend it. There we go. Oh yeah, there we go. Oh my goodness, I'm about to give up. All right, I give up. It's just gonna sit there and float. Rainbow Six Siege, playing some Rainbow Six Siege, huh? Without me, no invite. Come on, man. I play that game ranked. I'm just kidding. I don't. I have it. I own it, but I don't play it at all. Yeah, it's totally. This is a technical issue. My floppy speaker thing. Now, what's a real technical issue is this broken headset. I sat on it like last week, and I snapped it. I love this headset. It's like my favorite headset ever. And so I just strapped it up with some duct tape. I should probably replace it because it, you know, no one likes staring at a guy with a broken headset. But hey, whatever, man. This headset's amazing. I'm not replacing it until I can regrow the sentimental value. So many noobs pwned with this headset. But I played it for a little bit, Zach. I didn't get super into it. Oh my, I just knocked down my... I'm trying to get comfortable in my chair for... I sit in this chair every day. I wake up, turn on my computer, and I sit in this chair. And then I never, ever come out of it. Yeah, exactly. That lighting is, it's part of the magic. No one can tell. I did that on purpose. But now that you know. No. I wish I was that smart. I might be, who knows. We got about 10 minutes till we're going to start poking the bear on what's going on tonight. I'm going to go be annoying real quick and post it in the Discord. No, that one post I did today I guess is alright. But, we'll see. We'll see. But, yeah, like I was saying, Loki, if you're still a student, that's totally cool for the coding things. Like I said, we're going to be figuring this stuff out as I go, and I'm either going to look ridiculous or it's going to flow perfectly and amazingly, but we'll see. Probably not that second part, but we're going to find out. And as long as people keep showing up to it and people like it, we're going to keep doing it. If not, well, I tried. It'd be my first bad idea. Yeah, that's right. Focus on it. Focus on it. If you take a look, Zach, the vote came down to the endless runner with boss fights, and so I've got like a little demo scene type thing that I slopped together in an hour that we're gonna use to practice it on and see what we can do to get close to the idea. The scope might be too heavy. We don't really know. We're gonna talk about it and kind of discuss what we should do and what we shouldn't do. Whether it's too big of a dream for such a small team. The Forest had a team of only 4 people. If they can do something wild, I can do this tiny little thing. given they've got years and years and years more experience than I do. It's irrelevant. It's not irrelevant. No, seriously though, this music jams. So yeah, man, it could be the next Flappy Bird. That still blows my mind. Pretty much anything that, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but you know, I'm 28, so I grew up in like the peak of Newgrounds, and on Newgrounds, all these games that we see on the App Store now are like from Newgrounds. It's literally like someone just went there. It's like, what seems like a good idea? Perfect. Helicopter. But let me just replace it with Nintendo characters and get sued, and then just pay them and walk away because I made so much money on Flappy Bird that Nintendo had no idea. Yeah, man, this is like the best elevator music. Like if you're in a really good hotel and it's like 2 in the morning and everybody's showing up after like coming from the bar that's also in the hotel, this is exactly the music you would be listening to on your way up. Like, yeah, what a good night. I didn't die. It's, Madness? I do not know Madness. I don't know if this is like... This is a reference I'm probably missing, isn't it? Is the music too loud? Is it like... I want it to be kind of quiet, but it's kind of loud for me on purpose, but for y'all, it should be pretty quiet. Is my voice being overdone from the music? According to OBS, this is not the case. Let me see. Let me turn up my voice then some. Hello, world. It's good? Sweet. Madness animation on Newgrounds. I probably don't know it by name, but if I saw it, I'd probably know. What's the concept? Yeah, OBS is weird. What's the concept of Madness? I probably know it. Look at about 10 minutes. Less than that, like 8 minutes. Just hanging out. Waiting for everybody to pop in. The semi-stick figure people, where the main guy is a hitman. Yeah, there's a lot of those stick fight things. Those stick fight animations are crazy. Like, I just think it's so funny, because like by using the stick man, they're able to just completely focus on gaining skill in animation instead of worrying about art. And just do the animation. It's fantastic. Alright, Zach. Have a good night. Thanks for stopping by. I have no idea how far we're going to get today. We might not get that very far, but I'm hoping to basically have it set up where we'll have some milestones, and we'll try to reach those milestones per stream. Today is still a lot of conversation before we actually start developing, unless we get that far. It really just kind of depends on how many people are here and talking about it and having input. The very first time we did this, there's a good 6-7 people in here having input, so it'd be nice if we hit that number again, just because it's a lot of participation that I want to see. Alright, in fact, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be that guy in case, you know. Oh, no, I'm not. The urge to tag everybody and be like, hey, come in this. Come check out this stream. It's so heavy right now. But I'm trying not to be that guy. Oh, snap. Free game, y'all. Lego the Hobbit. We're gonna get that one. Getting it now. Somebody posted it in Discord for a Humble Bundle right now. The Hobbit, Lego. That's awesome enough for me to grab it. I'll probably play that tonight. Oh, there is 5 here. who's all in here? Zach was here. We got Loki. We had some guy, Appleloft Android, but he didn't say anything with the thumbs up, so I don't know who it actually is. Who else we got? Who's sneaking around? Say hello. You sneaky snake. Oh, such a snake. Sweet. All right, we got 6 watching now. We're just about to start here in about 5 minutes. Hey, what's up, Mal? No, that's cool, dude. If you're half here, I just appreciate you coming back and checking it out. You were here the first time, and you were a big help. Hope you're around for majority once we get started today. So, what do you guys got going on? Are you, any of you gonna be here for the developer summit? I haven't put the date down. I need to do that as soon as this is over tonight. But the date will be January 5th for the developer summit. That'll be the first Saturday for January after the holiday. If y'all don't know what the developer summit is, it's basically we're just gonna everybody gets together and we talk about what our plans are for the month as developers, and then we talk about the plans for Game Dev HQ for that month. If there's anything new going on, we'll talk about it. We'll probably talk a lot about this actually, and see where we can take it and determine what to do with it, because it's definitely a strange experiment, because like I said, I'm not like an amazing developer. I'm learning myself, but I'm hoping by me pursuing it and throwing myself out there, it'll encourage other people who are like haven't been able to stay motivated or haven't been able to do something, have a way to kind of absorb some information while just watching somebody else learning, and maybe pick up their own instincts to take something and run with it. And that'll be really cool. I'd be really happy if one person out of everybody in here sticks around, just because it's a way for them to also be a part of it, because I like being a part of teams. I don't like doing stuff solo. Solo is difficult because my mind wanders. It's easier for me to be like, hey, I've got this deadline and there's 4 other people relying on me. It's so much easier to get stuff done and ordered and set up. So we're gonna see. We gonna see. Yeah, that's right. You better be there. You better be there, Loki Gun. About 3 minutes. I wish there was a way I could see who was actually in here, so I could call y'all out for being quiet. And I'm just kidding. Let's see. Participants. It only shows me 3. I make it sound way more epic? Dude, it might be. For all you know, it is way more epic. What I did prior to this, so prior to actually doing stuff with Game Dev HQ, when I was actually learning, I completed the first course and I started applying it everywhere, every chance that I could. I made a couple of games. I made, I can't even pronounce the title of the first one. It was a total joke. I just wanted to find some free assets I liked, and I found that typical purple ninja guy that was running around. And so I did like a, I think it was like Kona Hamaru side-scrolling ninja action adventure was the total title. It was something really long and ridiculous, and using, there was this music collection of royalty-free anime-themed music, and so the anime-themed music is what it was based on, and so it was just like, how many things from a stereotypical anime can we apply to this game? And so the concept was that you were a ninja with a sister who was really tiny and strong with white hair, just like every anime ever. And so ended up, I got it to the point where it was just basically like a boxed in level, and The ninja was able to run around, scale walls. He could throw kunai, and when the kunai hit the wall, you could run up and jump on the kunai. And by being on the kunai, it would give you an increased jump, and so it would actually bounce you all the way up. So you could like be running, jump, throw kunai, land on it, and then jump really far away. It had a standard, just a normal slash attack, and then that's about as far as I got with that. And then I started Mouse Tap, which was my actual project that I was working on prior to finding this course. I was working on a course system called Dev Slopes, and I didn't like it. I'm not going to say anything else, but I didn't like it. But I switched over to this one, and it inspired me to jump back on board and start actually making stuff. But I got about 80, I would say probably about like 85% done with Mouse Tap. And the way Mouse Tap works is it's a tower defense game that's inspired by Hungry Hippos. And so you have cats. You have two cats. So you'll have like so if you have your phone, you have a cat here, a cat here, a cat here, and a cat here. And mice will run down the screen, and you'll just tap on the cat, and the cat will reach out like, you know, and try to kill the mouse or eat the mouse. And there'll be different mice type that come through, different entryways that the mice could come out of. A little bit of a progression system where you can power up the cat so it can hit them harder when you get different mice types in the future. Different speeds, multiple waves, stuff like that. It's really intricate, actually. And it had a hairball system, so the more rats that you ate with the exact same cat, it would spit up a hairball filled with a bunch of little mice chunks in it, and you could click on it to regain a life, because you would lose a life every time a mouse got past you and exited. But since it's not an actual tower defense, it has to be a little bit forgiving, so I did the hairball system to kind of alleviate the balance of how difficult the game can be without it. That way, if you're good at accuracy, you can pile up a bunch of hairballs on a cat and use those to charge your lives back up before the wave ends, and you can keep on going. And the monetization system would be like more hairballs and ads and stuff like that. It was cool. I didn't finish it because I actually started officially working for GameDev HQ, so I never got to complete it. And since then, it's been nothing but continuous work and research on stuff that we're doing behind the scenes. And I haven't actually gotten a chance to develop since. And so this is my stepping stone towards getting back into development. But I really wanted to do something with you guys because I know there's a bunch of other people that are in the same boat as I am. Hey, Eddie, what's up? But it is now 6:01. That means I'm 60 seconds too late. So 1 second. Let me get myself scenarioed. Sweet. Alright. So what you guys are looking at right now is just kind of a demo scene that I put together. So the game that won is it's the Endless Runner with boss fights. And so I went through our file base to take a look at what assets we had that would be viable, so we didn't have to look elsewhere. I wanted to see if I can make an entire game with the assets that we have on there, and the answer so far looks like yes. So I'm going to only use our file base assets for this game, or at least that's my goal, just to see if it's possible, and just to kind of show it off, because file base is super duper awesome if you haven't messed with it yet. So the way I figured this game would work, we're going to talk about it, and everyone can go ahead and discuss it and put their insight in. I'll pull the game dev doc up here in a second. But as you can see here in the game view, so this would be a endless runner. So this would be your phone, obviously. And here's the path that you're going down, and you have your mech here. And what would happen is things would happen in front of you, and you would tap on them to prevent it from hitting your mech, and your mech would then shoot at the object. So say, for example, maybe there's another mech in this corner over here, and he's shooting rockets at you, and then you tap, and then your mech will go and shoot the counter rocket or something. Maybe it's, I don't know, maybe it's like a laser that blasts the rocket out of the sky. We'll figure it out later. But that's kind of the concept. So this is just kind of the demoing the position. The lighting, I put a spotlight on the actual mech, and both the spotlight and the camera follow the mech. So if we hit play, you'll see the mech just kind of walking with the spotlight and the camera on him. That's the only thing that I did, was set up this demo level and make the idle be the walking animation, and just have that spotlight on. So nothing crazy has been done. But it's just kind of setting it up. But here's like the whole level that's on there. It's literally just, you know, it's just a circle. So what we have to kind of figure out now is kind of go over all the functions of the actual project and decide what to keep and what to cut. In this case, I don't know if everybody saw it already, but I'll go ahead and I'll pull it up. So let me get that there right. Yeah. Let me see if this will work. Do it like this. Sweet. And then if I do this. Sweet. Hold on. That's too hard for me. I need to pull the chat over here so I can see you guys. Sweet. Alright, cool. So this was the article that came out the other day, but it also has kind of like a mini game dev doc type thing. It was just a schematic that I found online. Somebody used and said they were like, oh, we stopped doing game dev docs and we started doing this thing because it's shorter and faster. I am going to do like a full game development doc just so you guys can like see that. But for now, I figured this was good enough for getting it out in time. So the main concept I figure we can do here is, so it's a post-apocalyptic aftermath of about a human upgrading a mech to fight off AI which took over the planet. So we're going to have the second mech. If you go into file base, you can see the second mech, and that's going to be the boss for the end of this first level. And we're not going to do a second level, which I'll explain here in a little bit. So the design pillars, what that means is like, what are the words that you can use to describe the tone and tension of the game. So in this case, it should be fast paced. Boss fights, meaning that it's a little bit challenging and there's randomizations to it, and it's action based. So we want it to be like a very like an intense endless runner that you're having to really focus on. So you're focusing less on like moving. So like your movement's going to be kind of predetermined, I would think. We'll talk about that in a second. And then you're going to move out of the way of obstacles or destroy those obstacles. And that'll be the functions of the game, is actually just destroying things in a mech. And we want that destruction to feel great. So that way it's, you know, it's addicting and people want to keep playing it. So genre, story mechanics summary. So the game's an endless runner and a city destroyed by mecha units. Player will dodge debris and collect ammunitions or parts for their mech while scavenging the city in order to defeat bosses. So as you saw, you're going to be strolling through the city. Features, players can shoot the debris or move it or dodge it by switching lanes. Users will need ammo and parts in order to defeat the boss. Players will pick up the GPS of a boss and be given a goal to collect a certain amount of parts and ammo required to defeat the boss, kind of like a bounty board. Once at the boss, the player will need to use a rock, paper, scissors-like function to fire off the correct weapons in the correct order to defeat the boss. Wrong attacks hurt the player, and mistimed attacks can get you hit by the boss. So if you've ever played a game like Time Crisis, so in Time Crisis, the only thing that you're doing, the story is progressing, and the only thing you do is you put your foot on a pedal to come out of a hiding spot and pull the trigger to shoot at the enemies on the field. We want that same effect, but with the phone, and you're just tapping the enemies, or you're tapping the target zones. So you're not actually going to control the mech outside of when you're collecting goods. So the actual endless runner portion is sending you through the world, and you'll swipe to kind of activate thrusters to move one direction or the other. And that'll move you out of the way of debris, or you can blast it down, but that wastes ammo or something like that. Let's see. And this kind of just gives you a breakdown about the bosses. So the way that I wanted it to work to have an actual progression system is to basically, so boss 1 requires, in order to defeat the boss, you need to have enough ammo for it, and you need to have parts to build up an explosive, because when the boss has an opening, you're going to launch an explosive at the boss to finalize killing it. So you'll build the boss down, get it to 0 life, and then you have to blow it up by finding the weak point and tossing the explosion at it, or tossing the bomb. And then the second boss will require a different setting of ammo, so like 50 machine gun ammo, 25 mini rockets, and 20 parts to build an explosive. But your mech only has a slot for a machine gun, so you don't have rockets yet. The only way that you can get rockets is by beating the first mech and taking the schematics of how to use and build rockets from that boss. So each boss you kill will give you a new weapon option that you can add to your loadout to go fight different bosses. So if you think of like Mega Man, when you play Mega Man, the whole concept is you fight a boss, you steal his power. It's going to be the same concept. So you'll steal the weapon from that boss, and that weapon is required in order to go unlock other bosses to get more materials. So it doesn't just go linear, so it'll branch off like this. So like, you know, Tier 1's got this first boss, Tier 2 maybe has 2 bosses. Well, this first boss on the left has to be fought first because you need the weapon that boss has in order to kill the second boss. And then those 2 branch off, maybe there's 3 bosses or something. And they all have different components and stuff that they need in order to actually be destroyed. The interface, player will have to use, let's see, they don't have to control the forward movement. It's going to be automatic. Third person, it'll be just an endless runner. The user wipes in the direction. We already discussed that. Tap the screen to fire. We discussed that as well. It's going to be auto fire, so you only have to tap the object you're trying to destroy, and it'll read that you've tapped that direction, and then it'll fire off in that direction and hopefully hit it. How we're going to do that yet, I don't know. We'll worry about that when we get to the functionality of it. And then during the boss fights, you'll basically select the ammo type in the UI, and then you'll tap anywhere else to fire that ammo type in that direction, and the boss is just going to have like the standard. If you ever played like Legend of Zelda, you'll see like the boss, the Dongo, the giant lizard, for example. He opens up his mouth and his mouth starts flashing red. That's where you obviously throw a bomb into, right? Well, we want the same concept, that it teaches people how to play the game without giving them an actual tutorial by the body is flashing where you want to shoot at. So maybe it's the kneecaps of the mech. You're trying to take its legs out, and then after you take its legs out, it collapses or something. But you'll have to figure those out as you go, and you'll have to use your ammo accordingly. Of course, all these functions can potentially change in the long run, right? So the art style is obviously, like I stated before, it's using the file base. So we'll be focusing on using the assets that are available to us here at GameDev HQ. If you're a pro member, you can get these assets as well. Let's see. Yeah, so this will also affect like the tone. So I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can play this real quick. So let me. So the tone's not gonna be this comfortable music that we're listening to now, right? So like let's be hypothetical here. Let me turn that on, and let me turn. All right, so yeah, so here's this. Let's just create this visual real fast. All right. I need to turn this up. All right, it's gonna be kind of loud for a second. Right, but so like this is the tone of the music that we want. Yeah, so you're sitting here going through the town, right? Like, isn't that awesome though? Like all that's happening is there's just music playing that's added to it. And so it's going, and then you'll have stuff that pops up that you're tapping, trying to get rid of. All right, so that's the tone that we want. That's the feeling that we want to have from this game. So we're going to have to play with post-processing. We'll have to find out what the limitations are on mobile of post-processing. And anything else. No, don't do it, robot. Your only weakness, turns. No. All right, so you get the point there. Let me turn that down, turn this off. Turn back on to our totally chill music here. Yeah. Yeah. All right, let me turn this off. All right, now that I've gone through the map. All right, so let me just get us back into the right area. Oh, hello, my son. What's up, Sam? Okay. Now I don't know where all my stuff is. There we go. Sweet. So, like I said, that's kind of the tone for it. Oh, and there's one more part that I got to show y'all from this screen real fast before we keep going. Ready to be educated? Joke's on you. That's not how this works. You're going to educate me, Sam. All right, so the other aspect was trying to figure out the speed. So to have that intensity level, the bot needs to move a lot faster, in my opinion. So since he has to move kind of quicker, the idea was that getting rid of the walking animation and instead using those back shoulder holes in the mech and putting like kind of like a jet engine type effect and instead animate them to kind of hover where he's just kind of doing like an idle hover until you swipe, and then he like, turns another direction according to the swipe. That might be something that we could do. That'll be a lot more to it though. But I think if we play with the movement speed, we can get it to go fast enough to be okay, because we're not really going to see the feet of the mech, at least not while it's moving. And so the thing that I played with is when the speed goes up, the animation obviously speeds up, and so it looks a little bit funnier, and I don't want it to look hilarious. It needs to be serious, man. It's not a phase, Dad. This is my mech. But that's one other issue. And then, as I stated earlier, there's only going to be one level made. We're going to clone that level to create a second level just to test. So I think it would be cool to have both be an option. Yeah, I mean, we can definitely look at that when we get that far. I think it would be cool to, like, yeah, we could probably do something like that where, like, maybe you unlock the rocket boost and after killing a boss or something, and now you can grind for parts faster now that you have the rocket system. So you can start them out slow, and then that'll be another thing, is to speed it up. But we'll have to play with that when we get to that point and kind of discuss it. But I agree that it would be cool to have both. And yeah, so like this, basically what's going to happen for sure for the first boss. So the first boss, for sure, the way that I want it to work is it's going to just have 3 attack types. So it's going to have the basic shooting at you when you're, staring at them in the face and dying. Shielding and rockets. So when it shoots the rockets, you'll tap the screen to shoot the rockets down. When it has a shield, you'll need to use your own rockets to break the shield. You'll have rockets starting out. So rockets and machine gun is what you're going to start with. And then after you've broken the shield, it's weak, and then you can shoot it with your normal guns to do damage to it. Once it's zeroed out, then you can toss an explosive at it, and then that'll blow up the boss, ending the level. Once that's... Sam asked, do we have boss ideas yet? And I'm explaining the boss right now. The first one, anyway, because it's really simple. Just want to keep it super simple. But yeah, you'll unlock the shield from that first boss, and then after you've unlocked that shield, you'll go to the second level, which is just the demo level, but we'll use the bounty board system where you'll click on it, and it'll take you to the second level, spawn you in, it'll start, just to simulate what the experience would be like in a full game. And then when you get to the boss, you're going to have, well, not when you get to the boss, but when you are traveling through that level, you'll now see shield pickups available as well. For the actual items and procedural generation, that's all going to be today's kind of conversation, is determining how we actually want to do it. So there's a couple of different ways that I want to do this stream. So I have milestones here on the bottom, and those milestones are just kind of like chunks kind of written out for what's expected to have to be built in this game. And what would be nice to do is basically every stream we clear a milestone. I doubt that'll happen because of how new to development that I am. So it's really going to come down to A, my own speed, B, if somebody who's participating is able to assist as well and just kind of help find the information. Prefab arrays, boys, easy peasy, don't make life hard. I don't know what that response was to. I blame the latency, so I don't know how far across it goes. So I don't know what you're referring to, Sam. We're here for you. Thanks, Sam. Thanks, Sam. I'm gonna rely on you specifically now that you're here. I'm gonna be like, oh, what would Sam do? All right, so let's get out of this screen. You guys know what the goal is now. Alright, so it's 6:18. That gives us about an hour to start poking this bear. Let me move this chat over. Alright, so like I mentioned before, this is just a demo level. There's nothing serious about it. It's not even built correctly. Like, I didn't do any grid snapping or anything like that. I just free-handed everything. Areas for shooting. Yeah, well, what I was thinking was probably... what we could probably do for shooting is just using raycasting. And just raycast in the direction, and if that raycast collides with something, and it's something that can be blown up, then the blown up effect happens. Simple as that. For streamer to end up in prison. What? Probably not the best question to ask yourself. Oh, I just saw that. No. Yeah, probably. What would Sam do? And then you guys find me in like a nightclub at 3 a.m. filming. All right, guys, we're here live development. Oh, a brief after world generation? Yeah, probably the way I was going to do is set up little scenes, like 4 or 5 little tiny scenes that are like a couple of buildings long, and then put them into prefabs, and then just have them have them assigned a number and just kind of spawn. Dude, that's where you're from, not where I'm at. We've got after hour clubs down here. These after hour clubs are crazy. You can sit there until 6 a.m. All right, Sam, stop sidetracking me, Sam. Making me think about going to the club. You're a bad influence. Get off the stream. You're banned. You're banned. Yeah, but no, that was the kind of the idea for the procedural part. So the next part is to decide how is it that we want to actually apply the movement. So for example, here's what I have already set up. You guys already know it's going to be moving forward. So what do we want to do from here? So do we want the player to choose to swipe like you do in Temple Run to turn the corner? Or do we want the mecha to already determine that? And instead, the player gets to kind of relax a little bit more, and we just add intensity to like the respawn abilities. So like, for example, he reaches this point, and, you know, automatically he will turn that corner. Oh my goodness, where is he? There he is. Yeah, so for example, he reaches this point and he turns the corner, and he's going to just go down the paths. You make a bunch of different... You could either A, make a map that he follows checkpoints on. B, we could do a straight line. And so a straight line, and what we could do is we can fog the field of vision to like where you can't see as far. So that way the procedural generation is just literally spawning a new section of the map, and it'll just keep going until you collect enough content. See, can we have it be automatic, and you can rotate the head to shoot in different directions and shoot enemies that are flying around? We probably could. Does he have a head? It'd be his entire upper body. That's also awesome. His entire upper body right here. We're gonna rotate this sucker. Let's see if I can find his body. Come on, Al. I know you did it. Yeah! There it is. There's that. Oh, wait. Dang it. Might not be able to. I might have to get some modeling assistance from Al to take this upper body and rotate it. But let's see. You could always change the field of view, and so we can alter it. Let's do... So yeah, we could raise it up so you can't actually see. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, so we could do it like that. You wouldn't even know that he's turning, but you can actually see the guns better here. No, but I mean, it's like, look at the rotation of the... Hold on. Let me re-show you here. Alright, so the stuff's already separated, right? But the upper body is one component, and it's also the hips. So it's also the pelvic area. So it's not actually rotating on this dial here, on this knob, which is where I'd want it to rotate from. I would want it to rotate on that. But no, actually, so Fabio brings up a good point, is to turn automatically so the player can focus on the crosshair. So we want to keep this as simple as possible, though. So as neat as the idea is of it rotating and being able to shoot at everything, that's more stuff that the player has to do. We want to limit the functionality to keep it in the hyper casual genre. To keep it there, we need only like 1 or 2 functions, and that's swiping and tapping, and that's it. And with those 2 functions, nothing else is gonna like. You only have to focus on what's in front of you. Is that, I don't even know if I'm making any sense here, but the simpler it is, the better. You're contributing to the dumbing down of this society. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. The last thing that I want is more people thinking they're high and mighty like Sam running around. So I'm doing my part to deplete the possibility of preventing more Sams from from ever appearing in society. Doing what I can. Thanks for pointing that out, Sam. Now everyone knows that I'm a real hero. We could add in like a mega move pickup too. Yeah, we could. We could do like a, or we could make it where, So, if they're traveling down, and they're collecting ammo for their weapons, and they're collecting parts for upgrades and for explosive use. What else? Yeah, screen wipe. That'd be, yeah. The screen wipe would have to look amazing too. If you as long as we make it look like a freaking nuke exploded from the center of your being, and just totally wiped and like white screened us, and then faded away like a flashbang went off. And then nothing's in front of you anymore. Maybe should we have it? I'm just trying to think of the complexity as well. So if we can say everything, we'd have to say every enemy that's currently spawned dies, and not any of the power-ups. And we'd also have to classify the debris as an enemy, or just state that, you know, all enemies and debris gets depleted on launch of that attack. Could rocket boost to get up to a different level? Can we contribute to this project, or do we watch you develop it and give input and feedback? You can contribute to it. Like, well, describe contribute. Like the contribution should be stuff that we do live. So for like determining what we want the project to be right now, that's kind of the concept. But no, if you definitely want to contribute to it in terms of like actually making stuff, we can talk about that after this stream and try to figure it out, and I'll go over it with John, because we have to really determine what we're going to do ultimately for when this project finishes. There's I want to say yeah, but I can't say that definitely, because we're using assets that aren't freely available. So since these assets aren't freely available, we don't want to do an open source project just yet. At least I don't think so. It's something we can bring up, but the other problem with open source development is it prevents me from learning, and that's kind of the main reason. I don't know, you probably weren't here during the beginning, but the main reason this is happening this way in this structure is it helps me learn, and it's basically me learning, and anybody else who's not... Yeah, anybody else who's also on a student level can come and participate in trying to solve the problems that we'll run into while we're developing it live. Submitting code, I don't see, like, if we use haste bin or something, or so what like it, I don't want it to be something where we log off the stream, come back a week later, and the game has progressed almost completely because of open source contributions. I don't want that to happen. I want it to only be where progress is making directly on the project during live, except for maybe some little polishing changes here and there of stuff of me kind of messing around in the background, kind of going through stuff. But give me some more deets on what you mean, Loki. Yeah, I don't know if that puts any rain on your parade or not, Sam, but that's kind of the goal. Is I really want it to be like completely live while we're building it. So I mean, because I mean, it'd be really cool to be like, oh yeah, I was the one who came up with the idea to use the rotating rockets, you know, whatever, stuff like that. Dude, Pepsi addiction is not even like, you know, we don't talk about that, okay? The streams are all archived. They're in our YouTube channel. Yeah, so you can send it on Discord. I think that would actually be the least speedy way to do it. I need to add Hastebin as a trusted link, so you guys can just literally use Hastebin, type it out, and then like send a Hastebin link. So if you don't know what that is, so let me show you like an example here. Yeah, 1 second. Yeah, so this is Hastebin. So it's just hastebin.com, and then you can go and like type in whatever code that you want, to send, and then you hit save over here, and it'll give you a link, and then you just take that link and then drop it into the YouTube chat, like so. And I just got to add Hayspin as a safe link, so that way everything comes through. Yeah, no, yeah. If it helps any, I'm using the dark theme for Visual Studio. Does that help any? Does this help at all? There you go. You can stare at that for about 5 seconds before we go back. And we're back. All right, so let's talk about all the game features, and let's try to build them out right now. So our focus right now today is just basic movement. So how do we want him to move? Let's not worry about, unless it comes up in discussion, let's not worry about too much about the rest of the game, other than how are we going to do movement and level concepts. So right now there's a turn. How do we get around this turn? How do we create enough randomness without it just be like watching NASCAR for mechs, where I'm just always making a left turn and going around and around collecting stuff? So we want to probably make it random, which I think we could still kind of do like a procedural generation type thing, like I said before, where we make like little scenes, and when you turn certain corners, your field of view is going to be cut off from the other side, and they can just literally randomize every time you step on something. So what I would do, for example, if we wanted to keep just a circular path, we could do like so. Let me just show you like this. Derp. All right, so let's see. We got all this on here. All right, El Projecto. Prefabs. No, I don't want the entire. Yeah. Yes. All right, let me just get away from this for a second here. All right, so here's just a... All right, so this is just a prefab of 3 buildings on some grass, right? And so what we can do... And then we have like our little road section here, right? Na 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 na. Alright, whatever. You get the point with that road. I'm not going to worry about trying to get it even. Sorry, so what we could do is basically just make multiple scenes, attach these roads to these scenes, and we could basically make random turns and things that it does. And we could say, for example, when it collides with this very last piece right here in this prefab, when it collides with that, immediately generate a new location, or generate the next series of roads and the series of buildings, and it'll randomly determine it. So it could possibly be a left turn, it could possibly be a right turn, but the map just continues to kind of spawn buildings as you go, but not in front of you, like not in your eyes. Like you won't see the actual spawning of those buildings. They'll spawn far enough away that the camera won't see them, and then as you get to them and your mech's following them and the randomization of the new stuff pops up, you're just trying to collect goods. So we'll have to add respawn points to all of these scenes, to all these little individual prefabs, and those spawn points will randomly generate what kind of power-up might be there. If it's an enemy, it'll randomize which enemies could pop up or which debris could get in the way in this location. And just kind of think of it as like little diorama, like little shoebox dioramas with all these little designs, and we just have multiple dioramas that connect with each other and randomize which ones are in connection. That's what I figure we could probably do for that. I think that would probably be like the hardest thing to do though. And then for stop and turn, maybe like a jump over a building. So for the movement for wall, gimme. Wall. All right, so yay or nay on procedural? Should we do procedural, or should we just build a map and have him go across that map? I think the procedural is the challenge. It's probably worth learning, and I could always I could probably grab Danny Marty as well, because he just did procedural generation for his endless RPG, or his crumbling world. I could probably get his insight on how we can build those procedural generated objects as well. Stop and turn, and maybe like a jump over a building. 1 second. Let's see what he's showing. Alright, Sam just sent this regarding ideas. Let's see what this is. Yeah, like that side-to-side system. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Nice job, kiddo.
Yeah, that's amazing. Nice.
Your front reflectors are taking a real beat.
And this is a PC game? Why? Why is something with such simple mechanics like that a PC game? This needs to be like directly mobile. Anyway. Alright. I'm gonna take a look at chat. What do we got going on? Ah. Alright, so there's Endless Mech Runner game on Steam, but it's pretty shitty executed. They focus on cinematic action and movement a lot. A lot of the movement is just animated. Yeah, no, I agree. But looking at that, I mean, it was still pretty good. Like, that was pretty decent because it's got a lot of the whole mechanics that's what we would apply here in this case. I mean, if that game has like a story, we're not really going to have like a full-on story type thing too much. The Endless, I don't know how they're... I really want to play that game now to see how much of it is exactly the same, because I hate when that happens. You shouldn't have showed me that, because now that I've seen it and I know how similar it is to the ideas in my head, I feel like a copycat and... Gah! Jeez, I hate that. You ruined this idea, Sam. No, just kidding. No, but, Loki, you're correct. We could both build a world and then the enemies at random. Yeah, that would be probably pretty easy as well. We just have random locations on the map that could potentially spawn issues, but then that comes down to how do we go around the map. So for example, in this case is just literally it's a single city that goes in a circle. Okay, all it's going to do is go in a circle. So we want to add more road options. So maybe, you know, we get rid of these two white buildings and we put a road through the center, or, you know, we go even farther, but nothing too crazy. So the focus isn't going to be, you know, let me go and explore the world. Exploring the world's not relevant. So it would have to be a path that we design that's interesting. But if you play the level a second time, it still needs to be not exactly 100% the same. So how do we determine where he's going to go? So that do we all agree movement is automatic? He's automatically going to just progress down here, and when he reaches the end, he's going to hit this last piece on the road, and it's going to tell him, you know, now go this way instead. Womp womp. Go back. There we go. Go back. There we go. Splines. We could do like a branch out and then maybe end in some dead ends. Splines. Give me more details on that. What do you mean? Give me more visualizations. I don't know what splines is, so let me see. Rectangular key fitting to the grooves. Now you're talking about some crazy stuff, aren't you, Sam? Mr. Science. I'll learn it. I don't know it, but I'll learn it today. Not today, but you know. So what do you mean, Sam? What do you mean by splines? Do you mean that crazy mathematical nonsense that I just Googled and it looked terrifying? All right, look, it says, so if we were to say have like the first path end in a forward, left, and right path. One second. Turn off this. Alright. This is what Sam sent here. It says, this is the node system I made for vehicles in my game. So if you pick the right path, you can make it farther. Oh, wow. Okay. I see what you mean. See, well, you should have just explained it like Loki. Jeez, Sam. God, that makes sense. Yeah, so there's a potentially a wrong and right. Let's see. Splines in action. Give me details of what this image is representing, Sam. So how does this? So the vehicle 1, vehicle 2, the blue lines represent. Is that their direction? And then the blue squares represent what? This is this vehicle 1 turning towards? Or I don't know what these are telling me. The green boxes are handles for the spline generation. Direction is singular. Cyanbex is spline points. So what's the spline creating then? Is that that's the path, correct? Is that the path that the vehicle is going to go down? I generate 9 points in the spine and save them so I don't generate it every time. So you're generating a path to smoothen that turn onto the next road. That's what you're doing. Instead of making just a 90-degree turn randomly. Is that what that does? So the implementation for it, to create that smooth, is that all that is for? Is making that smooth transition to the corner? I don't think that's necessarily something we have to worry about this early on. Like you're dropping a huge research bomb, and we haven't we haven't done anything else. You've already thrown something at me that I've never even heard of before. So, all right, let's see. What is this? Sam. Okay, so there's Sam. So yeah, smooth transitions. Let's see. Sam, you want to jump in Discord with me? I'm gonna have Sam jump in and explain this. One sec. I gotta turn on the live streaming thing. Oh, here we go. We can just do that. Yo, can you hear me? Test, test, test. Oh boy, I don't know if I can hear anything. 1 second. Test, test. Can you hear me? All right, I can't hear you. So 1 sec. Let me restart Discord. Sorry about this real quick, guys. Reloading Discord. 1 sec, Sam. All right. Why in the world can I not hear you still?
Can you hear me?
Oh, now I can. There we go.
Hello?
Hello, hello, hello.
Alright. Can
Sweet.
you hear me?
Let's see. Test. Go ahead and talk.
Hello?
Yep, they can hear you. Sweet. Sup, Sam? All right, Sam, explain this spline thing that you're showing me.
It's a node system. So vehicles go along the node, and then they, like, once we're at vehicle 2, like in that picture I showed you, it's going to decide whether or not it goes to vehicle 1 or it goes to another point that's in front of it. So it can branch out after that, and we can basically implement that inside of the game, so that way the mech can like go diverge into different points in the map. So you can go either like left or right, or keep going forward.
So it's gonna automatically determine which direction to turn based on what options.
So for my game, it's just random. It
Oh.
it decides like whether or not it goes left, whether or not it goes forward, whether or not it goes right.
Okay.
For the mech game, I was thinking that we can actually have the player like swipe in what direction they want to go, and that way we can have like one side goes to more in the city, one side goes into like the forest or something, another one goes into like a subway.
Gotcha. Yeah, that would be cool. The only problem though is we have the limitation currently of we want to try to accumulate this simplicity based on what's available to us asset wise and stuff like that. So I can't think of a way that we can make Subway to start finding other free assets,
Right.
but I don't want to go that route. I don't necessarily want to go that.
You can
but,
branch out. It doesn't have
yeah.
to be different environments.
Gotcha. So can you give me like a brief breakdown of the actual implementation of it? So how's it written? Or if you can give me like a sample snippet, because if it's extremely complex and takes a while to set up, we're probably better off doing something simple starting off, and then we can apply splines like after we've made the base game and we want to polish it up type thing. Or is it something that's so complex that it needs to be built immediately at the beginning and not something that can be added later?
What part do you mean? Like the node system or
Yeah,
the
the node
spline
system.
part?
The both. Either or.
So the splines we can add in later, but the node system shouldn't be too hard to implement. It's basically just a bunch of transforms that you place down. Yeah, a bunch of checkpoints, and then you have the mech move towards those checkpoints. And once it gets close enough, it moves on to the next one.
Okay. Yeah, I did that for mouse tap. That's how the mice moved checkpoint to checkpoint, but I didn't have anything like this. So that's why I was like, what is this? Yeah, I can agree with that. That would be cool. So
and the math isn't too hard for splines either.
All right, well,
you have to literally just alert between each point.
All right, well, you just signed up to teach it to me, so congratulations on signing up to teaching me spline. No, I signed you up. It's force. You're doing this unwillingly.
I just like to tell myself it's volunteered.
All right, Loki says we could do like more of a destroyed portion of the city and one that's less destroyed. Yeah, we could do that. So like, you know, actually, what would be cool is like, so if it's kind of slightly randomized where they could kind of decide what we should do in the polishing stage, like once all the main mechanics are there to kind of polish it up and make it extra cool, is like in the more destroyed areas, we should have the boss make like secret surprise entrances in the level. So like while you're running around, you go towards the destructed area, like maybe the boss peeks out through like a broken building and shoots a missile at you real quick and then goes back into hiding. And so that adds to the amplification of how much you want to destroy him, because he's rude. But yeah, that works. I can agree with that. We can do that. So let's use this base level that we have right now. Let's do this first. Let's just use that, and then we'll make the checkpoints for that. Let's see. So for the individual transforms, do they need to be in their own object, like collapsed, or do they need to be attached to anything, or are we just going to make a list of transforms and place them in the map that we want and make it move towards it?
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
It doesn't really matter as long as you have a reference to the transform.
Okay.
Once we do add in splines, though, it'll have to be probably child-based, I think would be the best way to go about it.
Like a child of the object that the checkpoint is attached to?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to launch Unity, so I can try and show you when I'm like implementation I have.
Alright, let me turn off this screenshot that I have everyone staring at still. My bad. Alright, cool. So, in that case, then, I should probably do a lot of changes to the map. But I'll do a lot of map changes behind the scenes. But for right now, let's do checkpoints here. And we are just going to create empty inside of it as well. It's just creating a bunch of empty objects for the transform locations. Reference okay right now? Early on? Sam?
Yeah. I can't see your screen. I had to close the stream for Discord.
Oh, gotcha. I need to put, like, I need to give it some kind of physical representation because I know I can't see this. Or, let me
You can use
zero
the
it.
gizmo.
Do. Ooh, can I just do that? Nope. Well, let's see. Use the gizmo in what aspect? Because it doesn't create a physical. I mean, it
on the
adds
inspector.
there,
Do you see the inspector?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean physically inside the scene?
Yeah, because I mean, obviously, if I highlight it, then I can see the access points to click and drag and move stuff around. But I wanted to create like a physical representation of it temporarily.
Just make it like a cube.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna. All right, want to make sure. Want to make sure. Wop wop. I'm gonna move them out. I'm gonna get a load of that. No, we'll just say we'll call it. All right, so we're just gonna do a couple of obvious spots here. So obviously for this first corner, bloop. Okay. Doop. Doodly. Let's see. I need to. Ooh, that's too loud. There we go. That way, if Sam still talks, y'all can hear him. All right.
All right. Let me share my screen. Can you see it?
1 second. Are you sharing it where in Discord?
Yeah.
Sweet. 1 sec. Let me turn on. I want everybody to be able to see that. So 1 sec. Alright, so this is Samuel's Unity screen right now.
Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it. So there's all your different vehicles. Spline, navigation point, script, add points to next. Does it run right now? Like, are you able to run it and just have those pieces move across the spline so like we can see it in action? Or is it not ready?
let's see. I added a new thing for the next points because the way I had it right now was once it picked a random point, it was either gonna go like forward or backwards.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it does not work. I do have it working for the pedestrians though, so I created like a different system.
Oh really? Oh wow. Jeez.
So yeah, every point that the pedestrians can walk on is mapped out.
Okay. And they'll just follow it.
It gives them a random point on the map, so it'll be like either go to pedestrian 15, go to pedestrian 26, and then it'll
when it
automatically
says
run AI.
Okay, cool. So when it says to go to those locations, like for example, if it chooses checkpoint 1 and then it says go to checkpoint 3, will it stay in a straight line? Is that the whole point of the spline aspect? Is to keep the path direct even if it chooses a different location to stop at?
So let's say you're a pedestrian here on 25.
Yeah.
Or you're like here in the intersection, and then it says go to pedestrian 12.
Mm-hmm.
So I have AI that finds the nodes that you have to go to like the quickest path to get to that node, and it'll tell it, since you're here on 25, it'll tell you can either go to 16 or you can go to 24 and then 12, and then it'll just generate a path of nodes that you have to go through to get to that point.
That's intense. Well done, Sam.
Gracias. All Jonathan.
Oh yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, dude, that's pretty intense. But I like the idea. If we could implement something like that, that's super hardcore and way beyond like anything that I would expect to happen, but we can attempt it, that's for sure. The checkpoint system should be pretty easy in terms of doing that, but making the AI to check what's the closest thing to it to make sure it doesn't
Well, it's gonna be since the game that you're thinking of is gonna be, it's not gonna be like this per se. Like you go through each point before going to the next one. Gotcha. So you don't have to make like an AI system like that.
Yeah, we can keep it linear. That works for me, good sir. But let's see. All right, so movement. Everyone agree on checkpoints? Where are we at? Where's my chat at? Use a cube. And now a sad panda. All right, let's see. Let me fix all this. Alright, sweet. Alright, cool. So we have determined for sure that we will use a checkpoint system for movement. And when he gets there, I need to get a notepad. One sec. I need to turn off all this. I accidentally turned this on accident. You said, so when he gets to that point, the goal is then swipe to choose your direction, eh? What about you, Loki? Was that your input as well? I'm trying to pull up a notepad. Here we go. Alright, so movement will be done by... Actually, here's how I can do this. And let's turn this on. Alright, so we're just gonna make a comment section. We're gonna use notes inside the script, even though it's like the worst thing you could ever do in your life. But that's fine. All right, so movement we based on checkpoints. Oh my god. So when the player chooses to swipe, do we want them to have like a warning thing that pops up, like a choose a direction arrow, and then they click it and choose which one to go towards? Oh, Sam, I didn't know Sam vanished already. You have returned! Welcome, Sam! But yeah, so when they reach a checkpoint where they turn. Okay, we can have the mech stop for a second and then tells you to swipe where to go. Yeah, sweet, sweet, sweet. That's what I just said. All right, so mech will stop for a second. Wait. A moment. Player swipes to take a turn. So then that brings up an interesting... I need to hit enter more. I'm using it like actual Google Docs. Decide before they reach it. Yeah, so what if we put like a UI element that says incoming turn, select the turn in advanced, mech will continue to move towards the selected check mark. But then that kind of does mean we have to make a little bit of that UI type to determine that, hey, he chose that version. So, therefore, since he chose that, first he has to hit the previous one. So, it says, if player selects direction, then direction checkpoint gets a +1. Well, no, because we have to basically say, I'm trying to think of the wording for it so I don't confuse myself and get all tongue twisted. If we choose it in advance and it reaches that point, it has to know to reach a point prior. So it has to say choose the current path. So if there's a path here and you already are going to get here to turn, well, yeah. So if you're already getting here to turn left or right, but you've chosen it in advance before you reach that point, you now have to then decide what happens when you click that. It has to finish the operation of reaching that point in order to make the now selected turn. Is distance the right choice though? I covered up my camera. Well, yeah, covering up my camera. Oh yeah, womp womp. All right. Anyway, so if they have a so if they're going down a path, right? If they're going down the path and they get to the end to decide to go left or right, we then have to determine instead when it's, so if we chose right, there's still a point right here that they have to reach. So it has to go down, hit that point, and then take the direction. So it has to finish the point that it's currently going to. So the point that it's currently going to, we're going to need the UI to pop up prior to reaching that point. There's a lot of complicated stuff there. So let's see. Distance. I'm reading chat just now. Distance. So we have choose distance, get direction to turn. So Sam, are you saying that it's going to check the distance until the chosen distance? That doesn't sound like it solves reading the point that it's about to collide with. So like one space before the end, and then the UI pops up. So what if we do place select and see then direction checkpoint gets loaded into a queue for the next point. Check if previous point selected. You see, let's check if previous point nearby was collided first. So what if it goes, so moving forward, select go right, but you're still moving forward, reaches, let's see, can't go right until you've collided with one point before it. So for example, if you're going left or right, you have to hit the period point in the center. You have to hit this point before your choice is activated. So we say if the choice, so if player makes a choice, that choice can't activate until player collides with the point prior. So we have the path end be one space before the intersection, and then the UI pops up 3 spaces before. Yeah, I think it'll be kind of easy to determine when to place the UI, because we can basically just create like a, you know, create an array or a list of, oh, let me see Sam's stuff here. All right, so that's not correct. Where in the world? There we go. There we go. Here we go. All right, Sam just sent some code here. Why is it so big on y'all? Move it over so you can see it. All right, so he's got an enum set, direction to go, left, right, or forward. Transforms, checking for the current points. It's going to do it in an update. If distance to current checkpoint is less than check distance, then get input. So it's only, is that saying that it's only going to get the input if the distance is there? Let's see. All right, Eddie, have a good one. So if I reach the checkpoint. Yeah, so this is just saying that it can't make that choice unless it's hit the prior point, correct? Less than 3 meters, then we will get an input from the player. Okay. But then, so if we get one through, show you mine, and then get the swipe. Right, so then, but when we make the swipe, we're still 3 meters from the point. So once we make that choice, it would then therefore interrupt the current path, because it's going to say change my direction to this, but its initial thought is it's just going to go and it's going to hit that point, and when it hits that point, it would have to then decide either A, it can do something random on its own, or no, it saves the direction that you want to go. And does it queue it? Because it doesn't look like it's queuing it. If it's current point, it's reached the checkpoint. Less than check distance, then get input. Distance to current checkpoint. 0.5F, reach checkpoint. Can't read this while I have the chat out. Yeah, pseudocode. It's always going to the current checkpoint. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean we can do that and see if it works. So then let's say, so let's just set up then the code to go from cube to cube. Let's start with that. Let's get me QB to QB. And we're going to put them in front. Yeah, so the current checkpoint doesn't change until you reach it. Left, right, forward. Yeah, we can hash it out more when we start getting towards it. But let's start with just finishing up these checkpoints. We'd have to set that up outside of the player movement though, right? The checkpoint reading? I don't know, because I mean we probably could, but I don't think we necessarily. So we're not doing a whole lot. But we could probably put that in like a let Well, no, because the player has to monitor the actual checkpoints that it's going to. So it probably does have to go in the player. Because that's part of its movement. Maybe. Could be wrong. Set up these here cubes. Right quick. Alright, our 4 of those there. Do we want to do something? I'm going to add one more just for kicks, and we will use it to kind of test the idea of picking a path right here, where if we do check this one, if we choose that to go to the right or to the left, it'll go suddenly down this grass instead. And then if it chooses that, we'll say that it'll go here. No, I should probably make a road, just so I don't confuse myself. Here, we'll do this. Oops. I'm not good at that. Alright, so I'm not doing any code right now, sorry. What I'm doing is just adding the... I'm just putting the cubes on the map. So I got one here. Got one here. Here. Womp womp. Here. Back here. And back here. And real quick, I'm going to just... Oh, I think I built this, put this in here earlier. Yes, I did. Sweet. So let me just do... Wow, wow, wow. And we're just going to rotate it real fast. I'm basically just making a fake road to kind of test the idea of changing his path if he wanted to. It'd be good to have a navigation manager script that has a reference to all the nodes. Noted. We shall. Why? Yeah, it's because I botched the ground right here. Don't be like me, kids. Alright, so then we're gonna not use it right there. Let's see if I can do it over here. Do it right there. That's what it is. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. Sweet, I didn't botch the ground that bad. Alright, so that'll just be for a test. That's just there for us to test it later. Let's see. Good idea to have the same stuff. Alright, cool, cool, cool. Alright, so since we don't have a whole lot of time, let's hash some other stuff out. So we all agree that the goal is we want movement from checkpoint to checkpoint. When they reach the opportunity, the option to turn, players will swipe to choose which direction they want to go. When they choose that direction, math will be applied to determine when it's accepted. Alright, and then so for the test that we'll do is we'll make it go from, so here's our mech. So we'll go point. We'll go point and it'll stop here. When it hits that, it'll stop. And then you can choose if you want to go straight or if you want to go to the left. If you choose to the left, it'll go over to this one. And then when you land on this one, do we want to then say which way you want to go again? Yeah, we probably should. We'll ask if it wants to go left or right. When it hits that point, and then it'll just keep rotating accordingly. So at this point, it'll hit, if you go to the right, it'll just hit this cube. You got a Sprite in my honor. Does that mean we're somehow, like, influencing you through advertisements? Like, oh, I need a drink. Alright. Cool, so I think that'll work fine in terms of it being entertaining. So then, now that comes the other aspect. So are we still walking? Let's play with the speeds and determine if we're still walking or if we're going to do starting off with thrusters, because I need to be able to move at a fast enough pace that it's not extremely fast, but I don't want it to be junky either. So let's do... So right now I have a speed set to 10, but let's do... Yeah, it's super slow. Dude, if Pepsi files a DMCA, that means we're doing something right. That means they're concerned about us. Alright, so... This got two problems. Problem number one, I need to pull it back some. Let me just double check this. Cool. Yeah, because that's about the location of where I want the mech in the scene or on the camera. So that way you're just tapping anywhere on here and deciding what to do. But we definitely need to speed it up. So I'm going to turn off maximize on play. Yeah, but it's like a... You're in the cockpit, man. You're in a cockpit that we don't have. So that's what we want it to kind of be like. That you're in like a... Almost like a third-person shooter. So maybe we can do it like this. Let's do... Where the hell is my camera? Why is it so far down? Let me get that up here. So let's do like... Just because he's really wide. Alright, let's do... Let's see what this looks like. Hold on. What about that? Would you live with that, Sam? Like a third person type thing where it's not completely, so you'll still see like a foot, just because I don't want to have not enough room to look around. You know what else is disgusting? Sprite. Make up your mind, Sam. Yeah, but look at his feet. Like if we do the feet and we speed it up, like see, here's what's gonna happen. See, he says that he wants something, and then I'm gonna give it to him, and then he's gonna be like, change my mind. All right, so let's not maximize it because I want to play with the speed. All right, so okay, why is the speed not going up? Something ain't working. So let's see. Let's poke at this terrible script right quick. So that's here. What is this doing? I forgot what I even put in here. So lives don't matter right now. But I'm just going to leave it there. Whatever. Alright, it's just doing movement. Transform to transform time to time. You know what? Well, no. Let's see. Why is that? Oh, it's because I'm not multiplying it by speed. Herpadope. Blip, 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 blip. So can we, Sam, since you're in here, can we apply it this way, or do I need to do the math in the vector and then apply time.delta time, or can I do all the equation in one setting? I'm gonna answer my own question by just simply doing it. Yeah, I know. I just saw the chat, and yeah, I didn't add the speed. The speed is 5F by default. Save. I think that's what I already did. I can't see if I already did it, but let me just check this real fast. Let me make my own mistake here right quick. Oh yeah, there he goes. Alright. So then with speeds, because that's the thing, is can we speed up the animation then? Let's see. So we can speed this up. Let's find a decent speed that we like. And then see if we can make it pretty while still seeing the legs. Alright. Alright, where's a good speed at? About... I'd say about right here, at like a 3.97, so about a 4. Let's see a 4. Is a 4 a good speed? I mean, clearly the animation has to speed up, and so, like... yeah, the feet, like, dragging on the ground. Ah! Alright, yeah, and there's no rigid body or anything on this yet either, by the way. So what do you guys think about that speed? Is that too fast? Should we slow it down? Or should we go even faster? I feel like the faster we go, the longer the lane has to be. The slower we go, the more stuff has to be happening. Alright, 6. Let's try 6. Hmm. 6 versus 4. 6. Oop, it didn't change again. Alright, 6. 4. 6. 4. I think I like 6 too. Yeah, I think I like 6. Oh, this will be fun. Alright, so we're just speeding. We're checking the speed on the animator. So the speed here, that function, I assume that's what I need to do here. I need to extend the lane, but I think it's a gig. Yeah, I think this is on it's on a short lane. Here, let me check. Is this on a short one? Yeah, we'll turn him around. Why did it go so far out? Alright, I just need to turn everything around real quick. Am I attached to something? I don't know if I am. Come on. Just move back. Oh my goodness. Just give me the thing. There we go. There we go. So what about like right here, camera wise, Sam? Let's see. I love it. He's so into it. All right. I have a leeway, a little bit of a leeway, like right here, maybe? No. Just trying to decide the camera angle here. 1 sec, I need to do that. I take them back. I need to move him over entirely. You said try 1.5 on the animation? I actually didn't think the animation was fast enough. Well, no, that actually kind of... Well, no, I feel like we're moving too fast. It does feel like we're high up, though, with the camera angle. The camera angle feels like you're kind of on its shoulders. Because I feel like that pause before the next leg moves... That pause before the next leg moves, and it's still... We're consistently moving, so we're not... We don't have, like, a... We don't have like a realistic camera flow here. So like, is there, how would we, maybe Sam, you probably know this one. So how would we go about like, yeah, Toons, I guess so, yeah. Here, let's see, 1.75. Yeah, that kind of goes. I think it's the actual animation itself. We might have to actually change the animation itself to not have that pause between each foot hitting the ground. Instead, we need like a fluid run. Perhaps. But out of curiosity, just for fun, let me do something ridiculous real quick. Yeah, I'm gonna talk to Al and see if that's possible. Alright, we're gonna do a 6 to match our 6. So now, it's gonna move. This is how we go. Yeah. That's how fast I expect it to move at this speed. I mean, to be honest, it actually looks like it's moving that speed with the way that the stride is. I apologize for this as I break Unity real fast. Let me just break Unity. Oh yeah, look at that. I put my mech on top of a dryer. Yeah, it's really weird, the perspectives, the way that stuff works. But 2 or 1.75? No, 1.75 I think is the one Loki mentioned that looked alright. I mean, we could probably use this, and if it makes us too salty and it's just too cringy to look at, we're gonna skip walking altogether and just use a more of like a flying, like a little hovering animation thing. And I'm pretty sure we can just do that in timeline, can't we? We can do that in the animation timeline and just make him just not use any of the actual like walking animation, and so just make him standing there, and we'll hover and we'll make it, you can't see the legs, and then we'll put like jetpacks in here, and these little guys right here. Put like some flames or something, or some particles shooting out the back, and then you could just be floating through instead. That's hypothetical if we can't get movement to look all right. So all right, so we got the speed worked out, we got checkpoints worked out, we know we want to do that. And when we get to the checkpoints, that's the basic movement. That's pretty much the good blueprint for that. Let me write all this down real fast. All right. Let's see. Walking. Speeds increased. Animation may need to be tweaked to match the speed of the endless runner. If can't, then remove walking animation. Apply flames from robot exhaust. That's probably not how I spell exhaust, but whatever. Exhaust. And create generated hover animation and timelines. Holy crap. Time flew by super fast. Alright, so it's already 7:30. My goal is to do this as long as I possibly can in one sitting, but I want to go ahead and since it's the normal 7:30 already, we're going to go ahead and call it for the night, and I'm going to go pretty much just research this checkpoint system, and I'm going to take a look at the one that I built. There, let me show you all this real quick just so you can see some of the stuff. Let me see if I have it on here. And the cloud. I don't know if it'll work. So let me see. One sec. Choose location for the project. We're gonna put it right here. We're gonna save this level. One sec. I'm opening up a my mouse tap project to take a look at the checkpoint system. Because it's probably some of the logic for that will get used. And I want to use it to brush up. Loading, loading, loading. Loading takes forever. But basically, we're just going to take a look at this real quick, this old code that I use for mouse tap, and see if we can utilize it at all for this. And then after we verify that, if we can't, I'm going to go and make some stuff kind of behind the scenes. I won't apply it. Like, I won't apply it to the game. Like, we'll rewrite it next week just so everybody can see it get done. Because like I said, I don't want anything to happen to the project behind closed doors except for maybe, like, me learning and stuff like that. Just to make sure that when we come onto the stream, I know what the hell we're doing. And so... one sec while this all is importing right now. To be honest, I have no idea which version of this project it is. So let's see. Come on. Run. There we go. Let's see. Do I have the whole thing in here? Why is that empty? Oh. Let's see if this works. Oh, that's bad. This is old. Alright. So this was mouse tap that I was working on. So you click on it, and they'll swipe. Yeah, this is a really, really old version. I must have the newer one on my laptop. Yeah, this is like before Battle Drake helped me. But anyway, you can see kind of the concepts here. Let me just load the scene. Yeah, so there's multiple points. Yeah, dude, the music is awesome. Yeah, so they spawn from here, goes to points, follows down. There's multiple other spawn points. So if they spawn from a different location, they'll go to this point instead. So like, for example, normally the system... Let me just pull up the code. Duh. I don't know if it's in my spawner or if it's in my mice script. It might be in my spawner. Yeah, let's see if I can remember how this all works. What in the world? This is... That's crazy. So that Visual Studio thing that it's trying to show y'all is like a... Showing y'all the old one. One sec. I'm trying to close off that second instance of Visual Studio. Try that one more time. But it's in the spawner. Alright. So we're tracking the spawn points, tracking the different types of mice. It's got a coroutine called life spawn, which is on the bottom. The enumerator is right here. So it's just checking while the mice are alive, as long as it's less than the max mice available. Spit out another mouse. It's got a temp random range right here. And the range is between 0 to other spawns. The other spawns are the total actual spawn points. which should be 3. Oh, wow, it's not showing y'all anything on this. Why? There it goes. Okay. Jeez. Yeah, so this was the code for the spawn system that I have that checks all the checkpoints normally. I don't think we can use a lot of this. We can probably use the actual checkpoint system. But yeah, so basically they spawn right here is the life spawn, and the coroutine starts up here. And it just checks how many mice are alive and the total max mice allowed for that level. And then it randomly generates them between a random spawn count. So the other spawns, there's 2, well 3 total. There are 2 other ones, but it should, 3, whatever. And then the mice will go, it'll instantiate it. The mice type randomizes which mouse could potentially spawn right here. And there's 3 different mice type, I think. And then the spawn point is equal to whatever the temp random number was chosen. So whether it was spawn number 1, 2, or 3, and then it'll randomly shoot it out that. And then its position will start going towards, see, no, there's no rotation, no, the identity. Let's go component start spawn. All right, so then the mice has the checkpoint. So this is just a spawner to shoot them out. Let's see if we can't find. Let's see if it'll do this for you guys or not. Did that pop up for you? The mice? Sweet. All right, so yeah, so this was done terribly. So like. This is, I was clearly just starting out. I'm not using anything other than just like if statements and stacking it up awkwardly. But basically, it would state that if the spawn was the second spawn, it follows a different path than the other ones. The standard one goes there, but by default, yeah, the direction is the transform minus the waypoint's target position. We might be able to use some of this. Right, because we could probably use this right here. I don't know if you can see that, Sam. The waypoints, the target position. Where is my waypoints? Are they on this? Yeah. Then here's my transforms. So there's 3 different paths that were optioned. So you have waypoints number 1, 2, and 3, and those different sections it would pick from. I'm just trying to see if this applies to what we're trying to accomplish. And if there's a cleaner way to do it. Yeah, so we're just moving towards the waypoints, the target's not position. Every time it collides, I believe the way that it worked is every time it collided with the position, the target was -1 or something, or +1. Yeah, it'd be a better idea to keep waypoints on another object. That way you don't have like 20 mice with a list of waypoints, but this looks correct. I think they are on their own object. Because the mice don't have the connection. The mice just reads. Well, I guess it kind of. We'll have to look at it. Each point can have a script on it too that keeps a reference of the next possible waypoints with each direction. Whew! That's gonna get intricate. Alright, but let's go ahead and that's what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go figure out some of the best ways to apply this spawn system. I'll probably shoot you some messages, Sam, if you're down to go over it with me on the options. Probably not tonight because it's getting late. I've been at this computer for the last 10 hours and I'm ready to get off of it. What I'll do for next Thursday is I'll probably start late and not start the stream late, like I'll start my day late. So that way when I get on the stream, I can be down to sit up here till like 10 o'clock, just actually trying to develop stuff and getting stuck and all that fun stuff. But I'm going to go ahead and close this down for today. And Sam, I appreciate any help you toss me here over the next couple of days. I'll hit you up. I'll also be hitting up John as well to try to figure out the best way to implement all this stuff. And then I'll throw it your way as well. And then come next Thursday, we can start actually building the waypoint system. Hopefully we'll finish the waypoint system on next Thursday and then be able to move into making the swipe system Once we get the movement, we'll do the swipe system. Once we're able to travel around the map aimlessly over and over and over, then we'll start looking at, we'll put, I don't know, we'll decide what we want to do after that, but probably we'll look at doing the pickups or the spawn points for pickups and deciding whether we want to next focus on being able to attack, stuff like that. We'll probably do the attacking because I think that'll be interesting to determine if we want to do like ray casting to shoot, like we're doing laser guided missiles. That would be amazing. But all right, that's gonna be it for tonight, guys. I appreciate everybody who sat through with everybody. It's got 10 people watching right now, so hello to the strangers who haven't said anything. And we'll pick up where we left off next Thursday. See you guys later.